Great. So today, our usually weekly updates about artificial intelligence, AI. So this is page about me. I changed it a little bit because I added a link to my website. And this is the website. It's completely empty. There should be more people working with me and but again, the crocodile. My son did the website and he loves the crocodile. It's from Peter Pan. Anyway, so this is the status page. When I start making this PowerPoint, I start with some standard pieces and then I fill it up. So Hugging Face, we now have 1,379 entries. Just a reminder that 2 months ago, it was 346, so more than 1,000 models were added in Hugging Face really, really fast, and most of them, like almost all of them, are Llama based. So it's a Meta Llama model. Variations, of course, and some of them are already better than ChatGPT 3.5. So Google Genesis, drafting news articles for journalists. Google Gemini, I mean, they're really pressing it. It's a multimodal generative AI model. So it's the Google's answer to ChatGPT. They work a lot with the legal department to make sure that they will not have any legal problems. Like, for example, they are not including textbooks and other materials where there may be some conflict, copyright issues, and so on. Machine learning departments of Google now went into overdrive. They work over weekends. For the next 4 weeks, there was like an order, so everybody works without holidays, without weekends. They're really, really pushing it. So we will see. Hopefully, they will release it to general public. They already started releasing it to some limited number of companies just to test, like drive test it. There are updates to Bard. Bard is, again, it's a LLM, it's a chat box, and they now extended its functionality to work with other Google applications like Maps, YouTube, and so on, Google Drive, Gmail. So this becomes very useful and kind of built in. Meta 3, well, they're working on it, but maybe in the beginning of 2024. Interesting that Meta is using their own infrastructure to work on the model. Microsoft always have a lot of updates. This week is about working with images. Photos now have AI and Paint has AI. OpenAI, interesting. Before, the data in ChatGPT was cut at September 2021. Now it is September 2022. So something changed. And in fact, it has information about even more recent events, which probably comes from model retraining itself using chat data. So when people ask questions or whatever, they may include some data and model actually being trained on that, although OpenAI is kind of secretive about it. They released new model GPT 3.5 Turbo Instruct. So there is a chat and there is instruct. And instruct is simply for completion, so it's more straightforward, whereas chat is more like banter, question, answers, and it's specifically trained for that. And it's also more limited, it's more censored, whereas instruct is more free and it's actually smarter. It can play chess pretty well. DALE 2, DALE 3 claimed to be released. It's coming to ChatGPT, but as of today, I wasn't able to use it yet, so we'll see. There is a new keyword, Kobe, and this is something OpenAI is working on, and the rumors are that this is actually ChatGPT 5, but nobody knows. And also, there is an OpenAI vision. Okay, Anthropic, Claude, nothing, Apple. Okay, this is all. Okay, Stability AI. I have a slide later, but Stability AI, you know, it's open source. It's in England. It's a very well-known company. They authored Stable Diffusion, which is text to image. And now they have application which you can install on your Windows computer and do text to image professionally. This is quite amazing, actually. They have stable audio, and they have LLM model, which is stable LM. So you can check it on Stability AI website or GitHub or whatever. Medusa, interesting idea. So when you're generating, when you have a model which talks to you and it generates the response, you know there is certain speed with which it generates those tokens. So the idea is, what if you have several heads generating the response simultaneously, and then you kind of stitch them together. I'm not sure how exactly it works, but they managed to make like a 4 heads. Well, they tried less heads and more heads and found the 4 heads is optimum. So there is a GitHub, an article which describes this. So it's again interesting technology to generate faster responses. Rundown AI daily updates. I like this website. So this is the website, Rundown AI. You can subscribe and receive daily updates. So every day you see they have something which you can read. Great website for educating yourself. Complete beginner's guide to Hugging Face LLM tools. Well, I spoke about Hugging Face last week. So this company grows very fast. They on target to get 50 million in revenues this year. They're here downtown and in New York City. Well, actually across the water in Brooklyn, but very close. And J Street subway stop. Okay, and this is a very good article recommended to me by Boris Tolkachev, and I mean it's really great because it's very basic, very simple, not very long, and I highly recommend you to read it. I'll post it the slides, of course, on GitHub as usual. So just follow the link under the video. Okay, 11 Labs. This is a great tool. What it is, it allows you to convert your book into audiobook. And in fact, every phrase can be converted separately using different language. You can even take languages from somewhere, and this system can clone the language, kind of learn how it sounds, and then you can convert your text using this language. Amazing, amazing tool. Open LLM leaderboard. So the saga continues. So as of today, actually it's as of 5 days ago when it was updated last time, it was 1,379 entries. So here I provided for comparison ChatGPT 4 and ChatGPT 3.5, which is a free version of OpenAI ChatGPT. And you see on average quality that ChatGPT 4 is much better than all other models, but ChatGPT 3.5 is not that good. I mean, before it, we have like something like 30 models, Llama-based, which are better. So this is really interesting. The original Llama-based Llama model from July is here, and it is average quality is 66.8. But you see now we have like 74. So this is, let's say it's 67, and it's like 7 points up. So really good. Well, these are some other models with 4-bit or 8-bit. I just put here for reference. Llama 2 can be compiled, trained, changed, whatever, customized to work with 32 killer tokens context. So original Llama, when it was released, it had 4 killer tokens length. Now, token is about 4 characters, word is 5 characters, page is about 500 words, or about 2,500 chars. Right. So 4 killer tokens. This is original Llama. It's about 6 something pages. This is a single spaced page. But you can also make it 8K, 16K, 32K. And in fact, there is a version of Llama which is called Code Llama to work with code. It can accept 100K. accept and return. And also Claude 2, there is another chat model. It also understands 100K. So 100 kilotokens is about 150 pages. So there is a lot of content which you can digest. And you can just Google like how to do it. There are tutorials on YouTube. There are original articles which where people make the model, compile and run. You need a powerful GPU. You need a lot of memory because the longer the context, the bigger video memory you need. Okay, and this is. I took a llama picture and I extended it horizontally, whatever. Okay, ChatGPT pricing. So as you know, OpenAI ChatGPT runs on Azure Cloud, and they have the same pricing, but they call it differently. So OpenAI ChatGPT, it has a free version. It has $20 a month, which is called Plus, and then it has Enterprise. And my understanding is that Enterprise is running this model, ChatGPT-4, with 32K length of context. And this model, and I spoke with Azure support about it, so it indeed twice faster than this one, and it also much better because of the context length of the and whatever. Maybe it's different servers. I presume that these are probably A100s running on NVIDIA A100s, and these are running on H100s, the newer servers. And you see the pricing is also like twice. So this is for 1,000 tokens, and you already know this is approximately 1.5 pages. Well, usually you don't ask a question that long, right? Well, unless you ask it to review some legal contract or something. But again, it's not really expensive. Okay, next is Microsoft exposes 38 terabytes in AI data leak. So it was just a few days ago, and the token granted full access to Azure storage account, and this is the size of the account, and it has passwords, keys, and 30,000 internal Teams messages. So it was a disaster, but of course Microsoft says, oh, nothing happened, not to worry. But this is just show that even a company as I don't know, professional, secure, like enterprise ready with a lot of experience as Microsoft may experience things like that. So you really need to take this into consideration because there is no guarantees. And also the more data, the more security needed. And AI takes massive amount of data. Okay, just to understand the importance of security. Okay, next, local private data, embeddings, VectorDB, and LLM. So if you want to make a system local, because you're paranoid about security, so what do? Well, we're living in the time, the last 2 months, when a lot of Llama models were created. They're open source, they can run on a reasonably small computer, even on a laptop, and they have quality of ChatGPT 3.5. Great. So we have large language model now, but this large language model was originally trained on maybe 2 terabytes of some generic data, and we wanted to work with our local data. So how we do that? Well, we need to take our local data, use some sort of embedding mechanism to put it in a vector database, and then we can search the data, find relevant information, and then use LLM to deliver the result, right? And this is called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. I want to show here the picture. So we have the query, it goes to a retriever, let's say it's a Python script, it queries the vector database, it returns some pieces of text, it makes now query for large language model, including this text, and large language model basically just formats these pieces of text, like extracts, reformats, and provides the response. So LLM here is not really important. Any reasonable LLM will do. What's important is to receive really relative information from a vector DB. And how it is done. What's important here? Well, how you took original information, original data, and embedded it into VectorDB. What kind of embedding model have you used? And then when you're doing the search, how you find similar vectors, how you define similarity, how you index the database. Maybe you add some regular SQL or tags to assign similarity, or maybe some other similarity mechanism. All this is important. And I want to show you example which Elias actually demonstrated first time. It's absolutely hilarious. So if you have a good embedding and a search, so for example, this is the original question, original prompt: who divided the waters of Red Sea? And of course, everybody knows that it was Moses and God and Book of Exodus. But like if you ask ChatGPT, it will answer correctly. And if you use good embedding and you see what it finds several vectors. And for example, one of them may be something like this. So it is correct information. So VectorDB returns correct information, and then LLM uses it to provide the response. But what if this VectorDB used bad vector search and bad embedding model, and it returns something like this? And King Solomon made a navy ships in whatever, which is beside Eleph on the shore of Red Sea in the land of it. So it has nothing to do with the Moses, with actually intention of this question, right? So embedding and vector search similarity mechanism are very, very important for RAG systems. More important than LLM. LLM is just afterthought. It's just format at the end. Okay, Llama CPP project. So this, just a reminder, Llama model was released by Meta, Facebook, in February. The first variation, it was February. It was limited. It was not open source back then, although it leaked. But anyway, on March 10th, this project started on GitHub. Today, it has 41,000 stars and 351 contributors. And what it is a lot of code to run the models locally. So there's a make file, you can compile it on your computer, on your platform. It may be Mac or Linux usually. And then you can run the model. So you can run main, and then you give it your model and some parameters like to use or not to use GPU and so on. You can also invoke it to run as a server. So this is a very, very useful tool. Everybody is using it. This is a picture of this GitHub. Definitely something to know. DALI 3 is coming. I already told you about it. So there is a New York Times article, and this is the quality of pictures. You see a lot of detail. You see that now it can include legible text in the images, which is great. It's like if you compare the text with the result, they're much more similar. So the system somehow really understands what you want on the picture and provides it. It's a great tool. Yeah, this is interesting. Scale.ai. So this company started in 2016, and now the founders are billionaires. And what they do, they provide data for training the models. So that's what they do. The website, very interesting success story. So you don't necessarily need to concentrate on the models itself. You can do some technical kind of help, like for example, preparing the data and make a multi-billion-dollar business of that. Hagen video translator, a lot of noise. So you talk in the camera for about 30 seconds. It learns your voice and your lip movements, and then it can do translations, and it generates the video moving your lips artificially as if you speak this other language. And these are amazing demonstrations. There's a long line. Everybody wants to use it. It's hilarious and I guess very, very useful. Okay, Isambard 3 supercomputer in UK. So government, UK government, provided more than $1 billion, well, in pounds, a little bit more than billion, but a lot of money. So it will be in the University of Bristol, and it will be for mostly research, medical and scientific, right? It's named after a famous British engineer, Isambard Brunel, and it is now being built. So they use NVIDIA technology. So they're using 384 supercomputers, right, based on Grace CPU and Hopper GPU. And again, reminder, Grace Hopper is a famous woman, mother of COBOL, American. Anyway, so this will be one of the largest AI installations in England. I spoke about stability AI and their text to image, and here it is. So SDXL, this is the application, this is the model, SDXL 1.0. So you can install it on your computer on Windows locally and use it. So SDXL, it's a stable diffusion XL text-to-image model developed by Stability AI. It is 3 times larger than previous model. It creates very realistic images, as you can see. Legible text on the images, better image composition, high resolution, and local machine execution. So you really can download it and install locally, and it's free, it's open source, it's amazing. Okay, a couple more things. Gradio client. I've seen it multiple times, people use it, and it is hilariously easy to do. So here, for example, import Gradio, def classifier, demo, and launch, and bubuch, you have this. Just to show you, like in the real, so I go into IPython, I copy this text, it tells me that it runs on this address. So it started the server on this port. So I go here and here it is. You see? So this is how easy it is. And then it works, whatever it wants. Amazingly simple to start working, very, very concise. So it's an open source Python package. And it's mostly used for machine learning or some APIs, but you can use it for any kind of application. And you can also use it from inside Jupyter Notebook. I showed you from terminal, but you can also use it from Jupyter, and then it can, this dashboard may be inside Jupyter Notebook itself, or it may be out, whatever. And you can share this application as a link. Again, very, very convenient to use. Another graphical interface.
What does it do with the images that you drop?
Here?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I haven't tried it. Well, probably you can, but whatever. This is just a simple example, right? Because for input is image, whatever. Another is PyQt, also useful. I've seen it being used. So this Qt, it's a cross-platform GUI toolkit exists from 98, so it's like 25 years, right? And PyQt is a Python binding to it. And it has lots of classes, it has lots of functions. Like after you install PyQt5, like pip install PyQt5, you can use it from your Python code. But this is usually not how people do it. People usually use Qt Designer GUI. So this is like a GUI application where you can drag and drop gadgets, widgets, whatever, make your application. Then you save it. Let's say you save it as a file, mainwindow.ui, and then you have utility to convert it into Python code. And then you can split it into like model PY, controller PY, main PY, whatever. And this is a typical workflow how you create your PyQt application. So there are a lot of parts, a lot of modules inside. Again, very convenient to use. Kahir, heard about it. Andrew Ng has one of his tutorial using Kahir. So Kahir, it's a Canadian startup, Toronto. Toronto is like where Jeffrey Hinton works in Toronto University. There's a lot of startups there. Google built their offices there to be closer to Jeffrey Hinton. And again, I probably should show who he is. Geoffrey Hinton. So yeah, this is him. This is like a father of deep learning. And yeah, so Kahir created this framework, and it's partially commercial, partially open on GitHub. And the main functionality is to connect LLM to your systems. So give your technology language, talk to your system. Interactive chat features, generate text for product descriptions, generate text for blog posts and articles, capture the meaning of text for search, content, intent recognition, and so on. So very well-known system used by many people. I recommend to explore those links. And this is the end for today. I'm stopping the presentation.